Hello, my favorite students. I'm going to be explaining part one of the Pablo Picasso project since I've gotten a lot of emails and messages that you were a bit confused on how to complete it. I've got Sock Monkey here who's celebrating being both Français and Anglais. Whee! So Sock Monkey will be here to help chime in on some things about Pablo Picasso, the artist that we're going to be studying. So in this first part, I'm going to explain, I'll read to you about the artist because there are some unknown words in there. And then I'm going to explain to you the first two parts that you should complete. And then tomorrow I'll do another part two and then probably a part three video for this project. Don't be scared of it. Don't be scared of it. It's not really that hard. It just looks harder than it is. Vive la France! So, Pablo Picasso was born on October 25th, 1881 in Malaga, Spain. He started painting and drawing at a very young age. Picasso's father was an art teacher at the local school and encouraged his son to become an artist, which is very rare in those times. Not a lot of artists in the 1800s, early 1900s were encouraged to become artists, so that's pretty special. Pablo Picasso changed his painting style many times throughout his life. Some of them are what they call his early period, his blue period, his rose period, and what he became really famous for, Cubism. Cubism is the weird kind of blocky, triangular, geometric shapes that you use to make up a picture or a portrait of a person or some type of instrument or any object. His blue period was from 1901 to 1904, and I'll explain why it was called his blue period in just a moment. After Picasso's best friend died, he was having a hard time selling his paintings. Some people thought that the reason his paintings were mostly blue was because of the way he was feeling, possibly depressive. Others thought that he had no money to buy paint and therefore was using a limited palette of colors. It means that he was just using what he had and people thought all he had was blue paint. Then he went into what is known as his rose period from 1904 to 1906. And although he was using brighter colors, it was still considered part of the same period, because many of these paintings had just shades of pink or rose in them. That was it, no other colors. And the subject matter was a little bit happier. He painted circus performer animals. So it was a little bit happier than his blue period. And we'll look at a couple of pictures of those. From both the blue and the rose period, as well as go in depth in Cubism. So after he studied in Paris, he was in France. Yes, he was, Sock Monkey. Picasso was influenced by many painters, including Paul Cézanne, who is one of your very famous French painters, and Georges Braque. Working together with Braque, Picasso painted Les Demoiselles d'Avignon in 1907, perhaps the most revolutionary painting of the century. And we'll take a look at that, and I'll explain why. This prepared the ground for Cubism, so it prepared for the art of Cubism to be invented, and that's why it was considered revolutionary. And that's the style that Picasso painted from 1907 to 1912. Cubism is one of the most important periods in the history of modern art. And in Cubism, both Picasso and Braque wanted to paint as they thought, not as they saw. So Cubism is basically about drawing I don't know if you've ever done the exercise where you have your paper and your pencil or your crayon and you just draw and you're not looking at the paper, but you're just letting your hand guide you and make all sorts of shapes, whether you're doing a portrait of somebody or you're doing an image of one of your toys or something on TV. But it was a lot like that, the beginning of Cubism. So he literally broke the painting up into all types of different geometric angles, a lot of triangles, a lot of squares. And Picasso was an artist who broke the rules. And in Cubism, he literally broke up the picture plane. So there's a couple of his examples of his artwork here. The Blue Period, The Old Guitarist, The Acrobat and Young Harlequin, which was his Rose Period, and Man with Guitar, which is very classic Cubism in 1911. And you have to really kind of look into it to find the man and the guitar, but it is there and it's done in almost a three-dimensional, but what's known as traditional Cubist style. So basically, I've included on this packet, there's a couple of videos. If you have a moment, I'd like you to watch. Pablo Picasso, The Brief Biography and Paintings by Educational Videos for Kids. There's a link right here to YouTube for that. And then also, I think you guys will find this very interesting. It's called 3.5 Minutes, Picasso Working with Line. And it actually shows Pablo Picasso working with just one line and what he creates with that line. So take a look at those videos. I think they'll give you a very good, or not a very good, but a better idea of who the artist was and how he became about. So the first two projects, or the first two items of this project, is the first one you're going to have recreate in a Blue Period style a man with a guitar, just like Picasso did in the early 1900s. The colors are listed. You use blue, cerulean, blue-green, indigo, gray, blue-violet. Obviously, your crayon or your markers are not going to have these colors listed on them. So just go ahead and pick colors that match as close as you can. Or if you don't have cerulean blue or a sky-looking blue, then you can always exclude that from the picture. It's not going to make a big difference with your grade or your participation. So I want you to draw your own version of a man with a guitar. It doesn't even have to be in the same position as the man with the guitar of Picasso's. It can be someone standing up. It could be somebody playing guitar in a band by themselves. It just has to be in these colors or close to the colors. Since, like I said, I'm sure you may not have the exact blues, but or purple, blue, violets, but just try to get as close as you can and draw it in the space that's designated for you. And after you finish that one, I want you to go ahead and, I'm sorry, I'm trying to scroll down to find it here. We'll be doing, or you'll be doing, something similar in the Rose Period, except you get to color in this linear, it's not quite Cubist, but it's the beginning of Cubism, using the colors red, orange, violet, red, orange, apricot. Like I said, your crayons or your markers won't be marked with most of these colors. So again, just try to find something that's similar, or if you don't have it, just eliminate it from this particular picture. And then go ahead and I want you to color the picture below using those colors in whichever manner you want to use them in. And it should be fairly easy, but you might want to create a sequence, like maybe doing all of the triangular shapes one or two colors, maybe blend a color with your markers into another. I'm leaving it entirely up to your creativity, and you guys, especially with the Alien Project, have proved to be very, very creative. So I'm leaving it up to you to decide how you want to color that. So the portraits and the portrait practice and the Guernica explanation I'll get to in the next video because it's a little more complicated. But just go ahead and start on those first two pieces so you kind of get into the groove of the colors Picasso used. And again, take a few minutes and take a look at those videos, those YouTube videos, because they will help you. You can listen to them in English with French subtitles to help you out a little bit more if there's words that you don't understand. But that will give you another bigger and better idea of who Pablo Picasso was and why he's so important to art and why we're studying him. I'll try to get our second video up tomorrow or Wednesday. And if you have any questions before then, go ahead and send me a message and I will answer it. But I think this is pretty basic and understandable, the first two pictures. So Sock Monkey and I say, good luck, use good colors, make me proud. And we'll see you for part 2. Bye.